Hey guys, Syards here. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw Scorebunny from Pokémon. He's not really that hard. All we gotta do is start with an egg shape for the head, a sideways egg shape. It's kind of flat on the bottom. We're going to put a line right down the middle of the egg and a line a third from the bottom through the side, or from the side, horizontally. On top of the horizontal line, we're just going to add the rectangle for his nose pad. Then right underneath that, we're just going to do an upside down triangle for his nose. Halfway between, if this is splitting it into half and we split the egg into thirds, that's where we're going to put his eyes. So we're just going to put little ovals there. We're going to put a half circle on the bottom and then a full circle on the top for his highlights and his eyes. And then we're just going to add his little smile right underneath his nose. Don't forget his rabbit teeth. Now we're going to add right under his mouth, we're just going to add a gumdrop shape. That's half the height of the egg. So if you measure it out with your eyes, it's about half the height of the egg for his body. We're going to add his little legs. They're not very long. About half the gumdrop, probably. We're going to add his feet dangling, like he's jumping up. His feet are just pretty basic shapes. They are thicker at his toes than they are at his heel. Just put the spots or his pattern where his toes are red and insert where his toes will be. I'm just going to skinny this heel up a little bit. Then I'm going to add his arms. His arms are wider at his fingertips and skinnier where it meets the gumdrop of his body. We add the little fingered. And of course his shoulder pads. Is that what those are? I don't know. So right where this line that we put here originally to be his eyes, we're going to add his little fluffs of fur coming off the side of his head. A big one, it's like a big spike, and then a little spike coming off of that. Nothing very complicated there. And then of course his ears, right where the middle line reaches the top of his head, we're just going to go over a little ways to about in between these two lines, and we're going to create his ears. They go up probably about the whole height of his head and his torso together. And we're going to split it in two to create his ears. And then of course his another little tuft of fur right there. We're going to create those just sort of in the middle of his ears, those yellow parts. And then we're going to separate where his ears turn red at the top. And there we go. I'm going to just erase all the extra lines, all the placement lines that helped us get where we were going. And now I'm going to ink with my Tombow firm-tipped brush pen. You don't have to use the Tombow brush pen. You can really use any inking tool. You just want your line work to be relatively clean and solid for Pokemon. Not a lot of line variation or anything. Alright, now that the inking's finished and we've given it some time to dry, I'm going to erase all the original pencil lines, leaving only the ink. You could leave it here and just have an ink drawing of Scorebunny, but I'm gonna color him, starting with a little bit of gray to shade his body. Oops, I have all my markers already chosen out, so I don't have to go picking colors while recording a video. So I'm just gonna shade a little bit of the white. I'm not gonna shade all the rest of his colors, but just the white on him, just to help show he's round. He's not just a flat little character. He's got roundness to his belly and to his head. Even a little bit into his ears. Not a lot. Pokemon tend to be pretty simple. They don't do a lot of shading usually, which is nice as an illustrator. You always want to start, if there's going to be colors that are touching, like up here in his ears, you're always going to want to start with the lightest color, especially if you're using markers, because if I were to start with the red or the orange and then go into the yellow, I would probably end up bleeding into the yellow, and it would be a big pain to try to fix it. It's just a lot easier just to start with the lightest color and then move to the darker ones. But even still, I would still wait for the yellow to dry, because if you do it while the yellow's still wet, even if you start with the lighter one, the yellow still being wet may still pick up some of that darker color and bleed into itself. So that's why it's better to do it kind of in layers. As the one part dries, do something else, and then come back when it is dry to add the dark colors. And markers dry really fast, so you probably won't be waiting for very long. Just get a little pink for his nose. Add the red into his eye here. The highlight in his eye. And then up here into his ears. I'm going to take my pen and fill in his eyes. I could do that with a marker, but it's just as easier. With such a small area, I'm just going to do it with the pen. And then, just as an extra bonus, we're just going to take my gray marker, which I dropped on the ground, and add a drop shadow underneath him to make it really look like he's jumping. And for any areas where I smeared or the marker bled out of the lines, I'm just going to take my Jelly Roll, Sakura Jelly Roll, or 10 pen, 10 Sakura, and just kind of go over them, make that ink a little less visible. Or here where my marker splashed. And there we have it. That's how you draw Scorebunny. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and comment on which Pokemon you'd like to see me draw next. Until next time. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.